What a climb and rise he has made in the rankings.
And a couple of guys who not too many Americans know about, Bruguera and Novacek, but they have had a wonderful season in Europe, playing a lot of clay court tennis and indoor tennis, and so that's a look at what we're looking at today on the ATP, the top 10. And as we look at Andre Agassi, Agassi will be taking on his old nemesis Courier. They have played quite a few times, 7 to be exact. Agassi slightly ahead, 4-3. And in 1991, as we look, however, Courier has won both of their meetings, and that big one in 5 sets over there in the French. And I think Andre probably won't forget that for a long time.
No, that one probably is going to be sore with him for a while. It is ironic to see two Americans really beginning to establish themselves as clay court players. You look at Bruguera and Novacek, the classic clay court players from Europe. And now we've got Americans playing on clay, using that surface to their advantage in the Davis Cup. I think it's great.
Jim Courier, terrific young man. I mean, I think America really is glad to see kind of this sportsman-like player. And Jimmy was very nice and was out hitting some balls earlier today, and we got a chance to slip over and say, Jim, how you feeling, and what do you think about this match?
Well, it should be pretty exciting. We're playing.
There's the big forehand from Courier. And Leaf, you've got to think that something's going on in his head when he feels that red clay under his feet for the first time since that tremendous win over there in Paris.
Well, it's probably like walking into his home court. He just feels that the confidence begins to flow and his shots begin to fall.
Good deep serve. Andre tries to nail the two-hander for a winner. It's wide, and so Agassi to a slow start, down love 30 here in the first game of the first set. Ooh, just wide. Andre thought he had the ace. It was called by the linesman, and it was overruled. Courier said it was a good serve. And here comes the linesman way from the far side now. He verifies his call, I think. Let's look at it one more time.
Well, I'm surprised by this because Courier concedes the point. I think he sees the ball as good, even though the linesman sees it as out.
Well, everybody has agreed that it was an ace, except the lines person. We'll see what happens. Both players are lined up.
But that's not a good omen this early in the match. The linesman struggling. But like we said, this court will leave an imprint of the ball.
All right. It was an ace. It will stand 15-30. Missing with the forehand, and so now a chance for Courier to get an early break, double break point. And an excellent two-handed approach there. He really jumped on that short ball, didn't he, Lee?
Well, that's what these guys do. These guys spar from the back, and they wait for those short balls and then jump all over them. Use the good power strokes they have. These guys are the hardest hitters in the game right here.
Still break point. Agassi again not happy. Thought he had an ace.
And again, this court will leave a mark where the ball lands. The linesman will go out and find that mark.
I can't believe Jim's going to give him another call, but it sure looks like he did.
It looks like that ball skidded off the back of the line. You can see Sue Pranky in the chair overruling that, seeing that the mark was partially on the line.
But won't the ball, with these vinyl lines, shoot? I mean, it'll stay lower. It'll do something a little unusual if it hits that line.
That's right. When the ball hits the line, you will know it because it's almost like playing on a slick nylon court. As you saw on that serve up the middle, it hit right on the tee. skidded under Jim Courier's racket, and Agassi, after struggling, has got a break point here or a hold point in the first game.
Just long. And so Andre Agassi, after some trouble, down love serve, he comes back. He holds serve. It is 1-love Agassi, first set. This is a red clay tennis court, and you're watching a replay of the French Open Finals. Jim Courier against Andre Agassi. Second year of this competition, a special event here. The week after the U.S. Open. Missing with the two-hander. We'll see if Agassi can get it into gear. He got off to a very slow start leaving that first game. Very humid today. It's going to be tough to keep that racket handle dry. Courier.
Well, one of the improvements Jim Courier has made in his game is his first serve. Like everything else in his game, it's a very powerful shot. Good extension up at the ball. Uses his legs very well. I think people forget that a good serve involves good legs, good extension through your legs up to the ball.
No, Courier missing, gets caught with some sort of a half volley there from the baseline, and so now big chances for Agassi. Love 40, triple break point.
Well, that's where Agassi is so dangerous. You hit what you think is a good serve, and he hits it back harder than you hit the serve.
That'll go long, and so Courier saves one break point. Look at the two-hander of Andre Agassi here.
Well, this is a good second serve. You can see how high it gets up on Andre Agassi. When you're playing that high ball, you want to try and move forward and catch it before it gets too high on you. Andre Agassi just a little bit slow with his foot.
Good approach shot from Courier.
We talked about earlier this clay court. Very dry, very slippery. You can see Andre Agassi, a lot of dirt, and you can see the slide there. Very different movement from a hard court or a carpet indoor court.
That's a fault. Second serve now. Still break point, 30-40. No, and Courier missing with the two-hander, and so Agassi has broken serve. It is 2-love for Agassi here in the first set. And Leaf, as we look at this red clay court, I think it's so unusual. People that are used to tuning into tennis and seeing that hard, green surface, it's really great to see this red clay. And of course, the U.S. will be playing next weekend in Kansas City on the identical court. And these two guys are our representatives, so they're getting a lot of good practice.
Great work from both players. You can see they use all the court, changing spins and speeds. Both of them have very strong forehands. And if you have a good shot, you want to try and hit it as often as you can. So you'll see these guys trying to set up their forehands as much as they can.
No call. Good serve down the center. Agassi unloads a good flat first serve. Let's watch it again here.
Something Andre Agassi's been working on. That first serve, right down the tee, right down the middle.
overhitting. I think the one thing, if it's a weakness at all of Jim Courier, is that he has a tendency to overhit that big forehand. I know he can hit winners from it, but sometimes he hits one winner and then, don't you think he starts going for it a little
That's
quick?
right. Well, he knows he can hit winners, so he takes some chances and makes some errors.
40 love now to Agassi, trying to get to 3 love here. This is best of 3 for the championship. Agassi goes for it.
15.
Just catches the tape.
Well, one of the things Nick Bollettieri said he was working on with Andre Agassi was trying to get him to concentrate better at 30 love and 40 love. Oftentimes he gives away points when he's ahead, and those can catch up to you later. When you have a lead, you want to hold it and maintain it. This is something he's trying to work on, closing out a bit more.
That ball will come long, and so Agassi holds serve. Andre Agassi now on a roll with the service break, leading 3 love in the first set. We're in Irving, Texas at the Irving Tennis Classic. There's a come back as Jim Courier serves a second serve, first point of the 4th game here. Agassi leading 3 love. Courier now having some trouble keeping that ball in play. It looks like he's trying to end these points quickly.
Yeah, well, I think he is a little impatient. Maybe he didn't have his Wheaties this morning, so he's getting out of the blocks a little slowly. You can see there, those errors are piling up. That's really been the difference so far. He played a terrific match against Pat Cash in the semifinal. Lots of action in that one.
Big forehand from Agassi. Absolute winner from behind the baseline. Boy, that's a powerful shot.
Well, this guy can light it up. He does it here. This is a ball that's so dangerous. Just in the middle of the court, you're seemingly safe, and Andre Agassi just says not good enough.
Agassi with the high backhand volley. He knew he had a spectacular shot. Let's watch this one more time.
Well, Agassi sets it up with this forehand approach. He thinks she's got the point where the Courier makes a great stab, and watch this one. Great improvisation there.
Yeah. He gave a little extra flick with her wrist. Tremendous timing from Agassi. He's a great athlete. You know, I don't think people realize what a good athlete Agassi is, because obviously he's just a tennis player, but he works out with that UNLV team in Las Vegas. I think the guy is very talented in a lot of sports. Pretty good golfer, I understand. Oh, and Agassi again with the clean winner off the forehand. And so Agassi has held serve. It is now 4 love. Agassi,
He leads 4 love.
first set.
And you can see Courier really on the defensive, using that clay to slide. But when Andre Agassi is playing well, there's almost nothing you can do. He just hits winners and hits winners and hits winners.
I think he's one of the best front-running players in the game, too, Leaf. He likes to get on a roll. Plays quickly. Agassi again just has Courier on a string out here, waits for him to make his move, and then hits behind him. And he does. Oh, man. And Agassi yelled, miss it. It was a sitter. I think he may give him that point.
Well, let's take a look at what Jim Courier sees. I think he knew he missed it when he hit it.
I think they're going to call 15 all on this, because obviously that affected the point. 15 all. Courier tries something a little different, coming in behind the return, but gets caught. Well, Leaf, Agassi is probably saying, let's bring this American red clay to wherever I play. And you talked to the guy that put this court in. What did he have to say about it?
Dave Welch has done a great job with this court. It took him 4 days to put it down. And he also is putting down the courts in Kansas City. So this is great for these guys to really get their footing on this tricky surface.
Davis Cup a week away in Kansas City on the identical surface.
Of course, David Welch also put down the court for the Davis Cup finals last year in St. Petersburg when they put the clay down in the dome down there. And the U.S. ended up beating Australia. So Dave Welch has been good luck for the U.S. Hopefully he'll be good luck for him in Kansas City. We play well on his courts, obviously.
Now Agassi finally overhits the forehand. And Agassi in with a deep serve, and so Andre Agassi holds serve. It is 5-love Agassi, first set.
5-love.
It is 5-love Agassi, and I'm not sure what the score is up there in the bleachers, but there might be a little love in it somewhere. Agassi ready to go. At the moment, all over Courier. This is best of 3 for the championship. And Andre continues to belt that forehand. Love 15, 3 points away now from the first set.
That one was very close. Agassi obviously in a charitable mood. He's up 5-0. He's going to give that one to Jim.
Let's have another look now. Courier serves. Boy, that ball shot through. It definitely hit the backside of that line.
And you can see when it hits that line, it really shoots off. Those are nylon strips nailed down into the clay.
He's going for it again, and so now Courier with a chance to get on the board here in the first set.
When you want to get a game on the board before you head into the second set, you hate to see that donut up on the scoreboard. You can see it's an art to move on clay. It's a lot different. You can see, watch how Jim Courier has to react. Slides into the ball, trying to retrieve that big forehand.
Oh, and Courier missing what looked to be a setup. This is the kind of set Courier's going to probably say, I'd like to forget about real quickly here. If he has any chance, he is in big trouble. Down break point, set point for Agassi here. Falls off and goes for it. It's deuce. Finally, Courier opens up with a good slice serve out wide. Let's have another look at this serve, Lee.
So when you hit the slice wide, you don't hit as much of the ball. You just hit an edge of it. You create a lot of angle. Oftentimes you don't hit it as hard. It's more spin than it is pace.
And so, Courier finally opens up. Agassi gives him a little trouble, and Courier says, I got to win a game one of these days.
Jokingly, he wanted that 6-0 set.
Agassi up 5-1.
Well, these guys are perfectionists. Andre wanting the bagel. Pretty good throw. Pretty good throw.
I didn't hear any racket abuse. Fairly lighthearted so far.
That's one of Andre Agassi's best shots, that two-handed backhand down the line. You think you're safe keeping it to Andre Agassi's backhand, yet he can hurt you with that as well. Look at how he takes this high ball. Lots of pace. Good shoulder turn.
It's one of his best shots for sure, that down the line two-hander. Just waits for you to make the move. Agassi continuing to hit winners from both sides. That time with sweeping forehand. Again, deep and right on the sideline. Courier barely got his racket on the ball. Goes way up into those seats that are the bleacher seats high. Watch it again.
And the two-hander. When you really want to go for your shots, it's important that you get set up. And you can see there that Andre Agassi really had the time to set up. Jim Courier is going to have to put a little on Andre Agassi. You cannot give Agassi this much time. He can really hurt you. He's doing a good job of it now.
Triple set point. Agassi goes down the center, just wide. And Courier hauls off and misses a swinging forehand. And so Agassi has won the first set easily out here. In Irving, it is 1-0. Agassi leading. It's best of 3 for the championship. We'll be back with more on Prime Network. Jack. Tennis Classic. Courier to serve here in the first game of the second set, and he opens with an ace down the center. As we were away, Bill Melton, our tournament announcer, gave both players a good introduction and wished them well at next week's Davis Cup, and they got a tremendous ovation from this very enthusiastic crowd here at Irving. And Leaf, my guess is these are new tennis balls, changing at 7 and 9, and that's going to make a big difference, isn't on this particular surface?
Well, I think so. The new balls really can go through the court a bit more. Even on the clay, new balls can help you when you're hitting a big first serve or trying to be aggressive, and I think that'll work in Courier's favor. He needs to do something more than just getting the ball back into play.
Well, you saw it there. Courier opening with the ace. They came out at the game change also and swept this court, and then obviously swept the lines off, so it's like a brand new court now, and I'm sure Courier wants to forget that first set and pretend this is a brand new match. 30-15 Courier, first game, second set. Much better serving from Courier down the center, and so now Jim Courier has a chance to get ahead early in the second set.
Well, how many times did we see this at the U.S. Open? Whenever Courier needed a big point, he always seemed to come up with a big serve, and only until the finals did he really run into any trouble. Never losing a set before he played Edberg. What a great run he had.
Now it goes wide. Courier again continuing to try and hit that forehand winner quickly. But he said to you, Leaf, before the match, he didn't know how long the points were going to be today because of this tremendous humidity. I think he wants to try and close them quickly. And there it is. Courier opens up the second set. Holds serve, and so Jim Courier now leading 1-0 in the second. He lost the first set to Andre Agassi. We are at the Irving Tennis Classic, just outside of Dallas, Texas, where two of America's hopefuls, Andre Agassi, are going at it here on Prime Network. Stay with us. We'll have more tennis. now is serving in the second game of the second set. Courier leading 1-love. Just on the line. That ball will stop. Great try by Agassi. Tremendous backspin on that drop shot by Courier.
A lot of creativity in this point. Courier not only using pace, but finesse. He sets it up with this big forehand. Look at this one. Lots of backspin. The racket face very open. Looked like a bit of a 9-iron there. But I guess on this surface you'd say sand wedge. And look at that. There's a big forehand return. Courier giving Agassi a little taste of his own stuff. That big forehand. He's got 3 break points.
And Agassi comes in with that serve out wide. Sometimes Andre will move on that baseline leaf. You know, he'll move way over to the doubles sideline to get the angle on that ad court. Still break point for Courier. A late call, but it was long. So 2 break points disappear. No, and a double fault. Courier shakes his head, and so Courier now up 2-love. And as we look at these two players, Leaf, obviously everybody interested in the Davis Cup match coming up next weekend in Kansas City. They'll be playing on this same surface. These two guys against the Germans. We understand that Becker will not be playing, but I still think the Germans have an awfully tough team.
Well, Karl-Uwe Stieb has been selected as Becker's replacement now, and he'll be playing singles along with Michael Stieck, I believe. It will also affect the doubles pairing because Becker normally plays doubles with either Yalen or Stieck. So they may even put Stieck and Wriglewski in now in the doubles. I'm not sure exactly who they're going to go with. Obviously, that's a question for Nicky Pilic.
And Steve had some good results with Agassi a couple years ago, so it is not a foregone conclusion at all next weekend. But great to see these two guys having a chance to get their red clay shoes back in action.
Well, I think Becker's absence is certainly a positive for the U.S. team, but it is no means a walkover by any means. These Germans can play ball.
Courier, 15-love, leading 2-love second set. He lost the first, 6-1, trying to get back in this best-of-3 championship match. Andre using that rather large face, but I understand he was trying the smaller racket for a while yesterday against Renneberg.
He started out the match using a more conventional size frame, trying to get more of a feel on his first serve. I don't think he felt comfortable with it off the ground. Obviously, on a clay court, you hit more ground strokes, so he went back to the oversized racket.
Just wide. Courier goes for the drop shot. He liked that first one so much he thought he'd try it again, but he was well behind the baseline.
Well, that point was reminiscent of two boxers going toe-to-toe, just slugging it out. Bang, bang, bang. Great power tennis from both players.
Yes, right in the corner. A clean ace. Let's look at it one more time.
One of Jim Courier's best serves, down the middle.
And just over the baseline.
30-40.
So now a chance for Agassi to break here in the third game, second set. Look at the aces so far. It's a little unusual for clay this early. And into the open court, and so Andre Agassi has broken serve. It is 2-1, Courier leading the second set. We're at the Irving Tennis Classic. There's a game of the second set. They are back on serve. Agassi with the first set easily 6-1, and now Jim Courier trying to get his game in shape, not hitting the ball well. Agassi. Again, missing with the forehand as Courier is trying to use that weapon and put these balls away, but it's not working for him today. 30-love Agassi. Agassi, a beautiful little drop shot, totally catches Courier behind the baseline. So now Agassi at 40-love.
Well, you can see Agassi also has his sand wedge in the bag. Look at that, how he just opens the racket face and delicately slices under the ball. Amazing for a guy with so much power to have so much finesse as well.
And no call on the serve, very close down that middle, and so Agassi holds serve at love. It is 2 games all. Second set. And Lee, as we mentioned, the entire Davis Cup team was here this week. David Pate and Scott Davis will be playing doubles.
Well, it's obviously a difficult decision for Tom Gorman, having gone with Leach and Pugh for so long. They're undefeated in Davis Cup play, yet Davis and Pate really are the team of form right now. They've won the Australian Open and were finalists at the U.S. Open. So it's great to see those two guys getting a shot to represent their country.
Pate losing here to Pat Cash, Scott Davis losing to Richie Renneberg, both in the first round, but nonetheless they have had the entire week to work out on this red clay court, which will be identical to the court in Kansas City. Tom Gorman is already in Kansas City, checking that court out.
Supervising the construction, and as I heard from David Welch, the court is now laid down. They have 2 courts laid down, so the guys will be able to practice as well as to play their matches. You can see Agassi continuing to dominate here. Although Davis and Pate did get the opportunity to play some doubles exhibitions with Rod Laver this week, and you know, I talked to Rocket and he said, well, you have to remind Barry about the match I played with him at Wimbledon in 1960. He had 22 aces and 22 double faults.
We'll get to that later.
Love 40.
2-all second set here. Courier trying to get this second set and move it to 3. He is down triple break point.
22 aces, Bear? And 22 doubles?
As we said, get to that later. And Courier again missing the forehand, so Agassi comes from 1-2 down. He now leads 3-2 in the second set. We'll be back.
It's hard to believe what life would be like without tennis.
Well, this has really just been a good practice for me, getting into the Davis Cup, getting my feet back on the clay again after a couple months on the hard courts. So I think that, you know, everybody, you know, the whole Davis Cup team is here, and we're all getting, you know, kind of our feet wet and getting ready.
Love 15.
Well, they've had a tremendous week to work out on this surface, obviously, and a big match, the semifinals, the United States against Germany next weekend in Kansas City. Just missing with the forehand. 15-all. Courier looked one more time because Agassi had no play on that shot. Agassi with more than twice as many winners. You can see Jimmy Courier really missing the ball badly out here today. A high lob. Agassi lets it bounce.
Well, that defensive lob is a good play, but it has to be a little bit deeper than that.
Well, the wind, too, Lee, coming from behind Agassi slightly, and so when that ball got up there, it really stopped. Courier again missing with the forehand, so Agassi now up a break. and at 40-15. Believe it. Takes the swing. Watch this one more time because Agassi looked like he was going for it. Watch it.
You got to wonder.
Hello there. Well, this is a long way from the French final. Let's put it that way. Agassi's still up 40-30. Fault for serve. And Agassi passing Courier, who kind of slipped in behind a weak approach shot. Let's look at this forehand one more time.
Well, Courier tries to put some pressure on Agassi, but when you hit it to this guy's forehand, you can be in trouble anywhere on the court. What acceleration he gets with the racket head. He really gets his body turned. His shoulders come through. Lots of power using his entire body.
Courier using that wind now. Just kind of floated that ball and it stayed in. 15 love. Agassi with the first set, 6-1. Up 4-2 with a break. And a second serve. Took a big chance down the center. Fifth service ace for Jim Courier. He's about ready to go for that. Holds his racket.
Well, that one worked at least. He let that one go when it was out.
Just wide.
All.
Well, what can you say about that?
Not a lot of rallies. Another chance for Agassi here. Courier tries to slow it down. Called wide. You saw the lines were there at the very top of your picture, calling that line all the way through. And Agassi just falls off and hits the forehand. And so Agassi has broken serve one more time. He leads 5-2. He'll be serving for the match when we return.
Saturday sports are on HSE. Kick off the day with the...
Welcome back as Andre Agassi has just won the first point on his serve. He is 3 points away from this championship, leading 5-2 in the second set over this gentleman, the French Open champion, Jim Courier. It has been all Agassi so far today, although he double faults. First double fault for Agassi. He's been serving very consistently. Not trying to do too much with the ball. Just over.
15-30.
My colleague, Leif Shiras, is headed courtside. We'll try and pick up an interview with at least the winner. 15-30 now. Courier with a chance to break. And Agassi runs around, leaves the court open, tries for the winner, but overhits it. And so now Courier This crowd trying to get him into this match. They want to see more tennis down here. 15-40.
30-40.
Finally, a winner off the return of serve, and so Courier has broken serve. He stays alive. It is 5-3. Agassi leading, second set. Agassi with the first set. This is best of 3 for the title. As we mentioned, Pete Sampras came down here last year, what was then called the Texas Tennis Shootout, beat Yvonne Lendl in the final. That was on a hard court. Specifically built this red clay, getting ready for that big Davis Cup match next week. And Courier finally with a big forehand deep. His favorite shot, 15 love.
15 love.
The wind kept that ball in as that lob will go wide. 15 all. Good serve. Courier finally starting to open up on that first serve out wide, and so now 30-15. Backhand goes wide. It is 30 all. Now Agassi 2 points away. And Courier again, solid serve out wide. That's worked for him here in the last few points, and so Jim Courier now with a chance to get to 5-4. Good serve again from Courier, and so Jim Courier comes to life on his own serve. It is 5-4. Agassi leading, but it's close. Served a good serve, got a return that was wide, and there's another wide return, and so Agassi now at 30 love, up a set and up 5-4. Left first serve. The umpire is calling net cords. And Agassi just hauls off and hits that big forehand. Waited for Courier to make his move. It is triple championship point for Andre Agassi. Just long. And there it is as Agassi hits behind Courier. And so Andre Agassi in a very solid performance out here against a guy who obviously was not close to his best today, Jim Courier, the French Open champion.